control. Oh, for years it felt like homeowners could put a for sale sign in the yard and have multiple offers by the weekend.
Yeah, that hot market's starting to cool down. Tonight, a new report from Redfin suggests the market may be sliding just a little bit. Nearly 6% of homes listed for sale nationwide were pulled off the market in April without selling. That's one of the highest rates that Redfin has ever reported for this particular month. Now, the company says many sellers are finding buyers just aren't willing or able to pay the prices they were expecting. Rather than lowering their asking price, though, some homeowners are choosing to delist their homes and then try again later. And while Charlotte isn't seeing the same level of delistings as some markets, there are signs this area's housing market is becoming more balanced. Home prices are still up 2 to 3% over the last 3 months ending in May, with the median home selling for about $435,000. But homes are taking longer to sell, spending an average of 48 days on the market compared to 43 days just a year ago. Sales were also down slightly from last year, suggesting that buyers might be taking more time to make decisions as affordability challenges continue.
The rates just went up over the last week pretty sharply. And when that happens, there's a whole bunch of houses that people might have been able to afford, and now that affordability is a lot more challenged.
Well, that challenge is showing up across the housing market. According to Bankrate, the national average for a 30-year fixed mortgage is now about 6.5%. That's lower than it was this time last year, when rates were closer to 6.8%. Mortgage rates cooled somewhat during the fall and winter, but they've been creeping back up this spring. And when rates rise, monthly payments become more expensive for buyers who are already facing elevated home prices. For many would-be homeowners, even a small increase in mortgage rates can add hundreds of dollars to their monthly payment.
For first-time home buyers, we know it's a very difficult housing market, not only saving for a down payment, but then they're encountering a housing market with very limited entry-level inventory.
The end result is a market where both buyers and sellers are feeling stuck. Some buyers are waiting for lower rates, while sellers are waiting for stronger offers, and others are pulling their homes off the market altogether.
I think that overall, there's a huge demand of buyers to make a move and sellers to make a move. But quite frankly, there's just not enough homes for sale.
And Redfin says that's creating a market that's very different from the frenzy that a lot of homeowners became accustomed to over the past few years. Instead of bidding wars and homes selling in days, buyers have more choices. They have more negotiating power and more time to make those decisions.
And for sellers, that means pricing a home correctly may be more important now than at any point since the pandemic housing boom.